Good morning, this is Brian Johnson. I appreciate you taking the time to join me on my grocery store journey this morning. I'm sitting outside of Natural Grocers here in Cedar Park, Texas, also known as Austin, Texas. So if this is your first time hopping on to any of my broadcasts, just type a yes in the comment section, and we'll rock and roll here in a minute. Kind of like a landscape. So good morning. Who's on the call right now? As a matter of fact, I even have a better question for you. Like, what are some issues that what's up, Chris? What are some issues that you are dealing with at the moment? So do you have any high blood pressure? You have an insomnia? What's going on, Mario? So let's talk about some symptoms. So when I roll in here to the grocery store, I can detail my conversation and information around making sure that you get some value today. What's going on, Melissa? So hey, if you feel called, please share it, because I'm going to go share some really amazing stuff with you as always. And here's the thing that I found. So sometimes I don't feel like doing videos, and I get out of my own way because I've had too many people approach me that I have no idea who they are, that have just been connected to me from social media. What's up, Lori? And they have said, man, some of the stuff you express in your videos have really changed my life. They've really brought miracles onto my family. They changed my mom and dad's life. So I would appreciate it if you shared it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to roll and go ahead in here and have some fun. Give us a quick way to detox. All right, so let's do it. So let's go have some fun. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Detox. I like detox. Hey. Morning, how are you? All right, so let's talk detox. So y'all all definitely have heard me talk about asparagus. You've heard me talk about avocado, and you've heard me talk about broccoli. Now, those are your top 3 detoxifiers. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Mario. So yeah, your top 3 detoxifiers you've all heard me talk about. You've heard me talk about asparagus, which is your top 1, avocado is number 2, and broccoli is number 3. Now here's the most important part. Digestive wise, if your bowel movement system is not functioning appropriately, meaning you're not going 1 to 2 to 3 times a day, that's going to be the first thing that gets to be solved. Because if you're detoxifying yourself and your quote-unquote exit strategy is not working efficiently, then you're going to have an issue. So we're going to talk about some probiotics. We'll talk about blending some smoothies and some things here since we're in the grocery store. And here's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'll just kind of give you some different things to do here. You've heard me probably talk a lot about Swiss chard. Swiss chard is really amazing, especially for diabetics, like type 1 diabetics. This stuff has some stuff called syringic acid in it. It's basically just like taking a shot of insulin. Now, anything I say and use, you're going to want to make sure you talk to your doctor. And here's one thing I also encourage you to do is do your research, because your doctor's not going to have a freaking clue of what I'm talking about, because it's not where their interest is and it's not where their expertise is. So most importantly, you are the one who is in charge for your health, just like I am. And I encourage you to do your research and to also trust me at the same time that I'm giving you valid and valuable and crucially important information for you and your family's health. All right, so check it out. So this also has something called vitamin K1. Like, if you are a person who was on blood thinners, this right here is not good for you, and neither is kale. I don't see the dark green kale yet. All right, we'll talk about dark green kale in a second. Most important thing here is that vitamin K1 is a blood thickener. Now, this is also extremely important. Vitamin K2 is found in nattokinase. Now, nattokinase is a fermented soy, which is also helpful for you because it's fermented. Now, the important thing is that vitamin K2 is 100% absorbable, which means it helps to build bone density, and it also clears clots out of people's legs. So, Lori, I know I saw your name on there a few minutes ago. I highly encourage you to go to food-healing.com and get some nattokinase. It smells like aged cheese. Now, what it will do is it will clear the clots out of your body. You can also use the avocado seed to clear the plaque out of your arteries. You can use okra, and you can also use eggplant to scrub your arteries. Those are all very good to use. Food-healing, Mario. Instead of cleaning, go to healingfood-healing.com. Amazing place. That's where I get a lot of my products, rishis, ginsengs, and things like that. So we got a little bit on syringic acid. We got it on Swiss chard. It's a very good vegetable to have. Just keep in mind of the vitamin K1 blood thickener. So if you're on blood thinners, do not use this or do not use kale, both of those. All right. So you've heard me talk a lot about beets. Beets beat disease. They're extremely potent at reversing anemia, which is very important. If you're using the beets to reverse anemia, you need to make sure you're using the kiwi or the plum with it, because they're very high in vitamin C, which allows you to absorb the iron, which is the most important part to the whole deal. Now, some other important things about the beet, like if you live in high altitude areas, or if you're looking to increase your ability to breathe and perform, beets can increase your oxygen uptake up to 400%. Here's the most important part. It kind of tastes like shit. And if you have a whole one, it's very potent. So make sure that you may want to start off with like that's a big one right there. You may start off with like a third of that. Be mindful. It will stain your clothes if you get it around you, and it will cleanse your blood. So Lori, right now, beets would be amazing for you. Anyone who's dealing with any type of illness, what's up, Big Joe? If anyone's dealing with any type of illness, beets are number one, because they basically will cleanse your blood. Now, if you're also experiencing heart problems, beets will clear out the homocysteine, which is a chemical, or maybe chemical is probably a good word for it. It's a chemical marker that they measure in our blood when we have heart issues. The beet will help to reverse that issue. Now, you've also heard me talk about your second highest blood pressure lower, celery. Now, traditional Asian medicine will say that 6 stalks a day will lower your blood pressure. You can do it blended, you can chew them up. I prefer doing it blended because it really masticates and it chews all the fibers up, so it's more absolvable. It also is a major plaque clearer out of your arteries, so you open up your arteries and your highways so you have more oxygen. All right, so that's celery. Now, right here, cilantro. Cilantro is extremely important, and it's very good. So people, Joe, I think you're still living in Houston, Texas, Pasadena. There's a lot of chemicals in the air in Pasadena and Houston, specifically because of all the chemical plants, coal plants and things like that. Now, mercury is a big deal. Mercury fillings, there's mercury in a lot of different places that there did not used to be a lot of mercury. So if you've gotten vaccination shots, that's also mercury. I highly encourage you to do your research on vaccinations. That's my opinion. I don't get them, and I've never gotten a flu shot. You fucking lost your mind. That's crazy. It doesn't make sense to me to put toxins in your body to make it healthier. And I have a feeling you're probably on the same page. So, cilantro, if you are looking to chelate metals out of your brain, specifically people with Alzheimer's, people with Parkinson's, people with dementia, those are all heavy metal issues where they have lodged into the brain. Now, cilantro is your number one vegetable that helps to chelate, or helps to claw out the metals. Now, this is the most important part. If you are using cilantro to chelate out metals, you must make sure that your bowel movements are working appropriately 1 to 3 times a day, because here's the deal. Mercury is moved 80 to 90% through our bowels. So if you're backed up, it's going to make everything worse, because it's going to pull it out of the fats in your brain. It's going to put them into your bloodstream and circulate through your whole body, and just make the whole situation rise up with more issues and not have a way to get rid of it. That's part one. Now here's part two. If you are specifically using cilantro to chelate heavy metals, you must use the asparagus, the avocado, or the broccoli with it. Order of importance: asparagus is highest in glutathione, 2 is avocado, 3 is broccoli. Now, I say that to say this: if you are using the cilantro to pull metals out of the fats in your brain and put them in your bloodstream, the next thing is to export them out of your system. That's what the asparagus, the avocado, and the broccoli does. So if you're talking detoxification, that's one of your top ones. Using the cilantro, using the beet, it's a blood cleanser. Using asparagus, avocado, and broccoli. Now, people who are autistic kids, I may have been blessed to be able to start working and supporting some of the autistic kids here in Austin at the school. And one of the biggest things to consider is that people with autism and people with neurological disorders have got heavy metal toxicity in their body. Cilantro is really important, and it's also amazingly potent if you're actually pairing strawberry with it to knock down some of the flavor. Now, strawberry also has a lot. All right, I'll talk on that, Joe. if you're looking to boost your body's ability to fight off prostate and breast cancers, the strawberry is very potent. It's very high in ellagic acid, which is also the highest in black raspberries, so Meeker raspberries to be specific. So Joe mentioned something about having more energy. Now here's the deal. If you think about this in logical sense, what's up, Babs? The most important thing that we would die without first is air. Second thing is water. Third thing is food. And the fourth thing is our thoughts, and sometimes it's our first, okay? So if you are not taking deep breaths down into your stomach, that's number one that's going to create energy issues. If you're not drinking enough water during the day, that's number two that's going to cause energy issues, because if you're not drinking enough water, you're not getting enough oxygen and nutrients to your cells, and especially if you're drinking tap water and polluted water, you're just polluting your body with more nasty stuff. What's up, bud? So making sure that you're drinking good, clean water, and we'll talk about that. We'll roll around the store a little bit more here in a second and talk a little bit more about waters and things like that. We got about 20 minutes. So can you see the broccoli from right there? Bam. Right there. Broccoli. So broccoli is high in I3Cs. It's a cruciferous vegetable, and it's got endo-3 carbonyls in it, which is a really potent cancer fighter. Now here's the important thing. If you are experiencing thyroid issues, you don't ever want to eat the broccoli by itself. Cancel. You don't want to ever eat the broccoli raw. It has goitrogenic properties in it, which will slow down your thyroid function. Always make sure that you steam it well. And if you are eating the broccoli, make sure you eat the stem. Right there. All the stem has some stuff called glucoraphanin in it, which is probably some of the most potent medicines that are actually on or in broccoli, right? It's cabbage. So if you have stomach issues, purple cabbage. This is your highest source of glutamine on the planet. It's very good. It's also better if you juice it, because it's going to have more potency to it. It's also got high I3C, so it's got good cancer fighting properties in it. It's mainly most effective for helping with stomach ulcers and intestinal ulcers. That's what you would use purple cabbage for. Talked about this one a lot. This is one of my favorites. Wheatgrass. Extremely alkaline, very oxygenating, and it is a potent blood pressure lower. It's actually your top blood pressure lower, which makes it even better. Let's see, we'll go over here for a sec. Morning.
Morning.
So, cucumbers. Cucumbers are highest in silica. Hey, Meryl. Highest in silica, next to horsetail, which is great for osteoporosis. So ladies, if you got osteoporosis issues, cucumber is your best place to go. If you're having urinary tract infections, cucumber is great to do. If you're talking if you're very acidic and your body is breaking down your bone tissue to help with the acidity factor in your body, cucumbers is the way to go. Now also, you probably may have saw in the video that I did a couple of days ago, it's got a couple thousand views on it now, on turmeric and ginger. So turmeric looks like little fingers, and here's what it looks like inside. It's very orange. That's called curcumin. Curcumin is the same thing that curry is made out of, and the most important part is that it's a blood purifier, just like the beet. It helps with bone stiffness, it helps with arthritis, it helps with Alzheimer's, it helps with digestive issues. Turmeric is extremely potent, and I would almost consider it to be really like a panacea, which is kind of like a cure-all. It's a term for a cure-all. They use that term not loosely on specific food items, and turmeric is one that I would say it's pretty fair to use it on. So you have ginger here. Ginger and turmeric are your top two pain inhibitors. So if you have pain, ginger and turmeric are your top ways to go. Now ginger is smoking hot. Like I'm on the smoothie video, if you go back and look at my Facebook feed, I did a smoothie video on there. Oh, glutamine is, that tastes like dessert compared to this stuff. This stuff is hot as shit. Like it'll burn your throat. Like you just took a shot of Goldschlager, like back when I was in my college days. Now, Goldschlager, cancel. Ginger is very hot. It's very yang, means it heats you up. So ladies, if you're having circulation issues, men, if you're having circulation issues, the ginger is extremely potent. It's got 9 compounds that are very similar to serotonin, so it helps with anxiety, which is great. It's also a blood thinner, which is really potent. And like I said, it helps with COX-2 in production, which is basically the same thing that Advil and Aleve does and things like that. So you get a lot of benefits from using ginger. If you use a piece of ginger in your smoothie, like literally, Like, if you shave that down, that's probably a lot. And I, like, in my hand, that's how big that piece of ginger is. If you put something like, if you put this whole thing in there, holy cow, you're going to be hot and it's going to burn your throat, and you probably have some pretty serious medicinal benefits out of it. Like, I made a batch of turmeric juice and ginger, and it was a pretty potent concoction. I think it's important to know about these. The orange, and obviously getting good ones, this one got a little hole in it, but the orange bell peppers is extremely potent. This is for your eyes, okay? These have zeaxanthins in it. Anytime you're talking orange, you're talking eyes and lungs. Now, the most potent thing for eyes and lungs is specifically going to be goji berries. Wipe my finger off here. Goji berries. We'll see goji berries here in a minute. Now, also too, talked about these. If you are dealing with body fat issues, you want to stay away from fruits right now. And if you're on a good, healthy regimen, blackberries are your lowest glycemic index, which means that they turn to sugar the slowest out of all your fruits, which obviously helps when you're talking about keeping your insulin levels low, so your body will burn more body fat. Extremely potent when you're talking about using fruits. So your top three are raspberries, blackberries on top, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. Those are your four that are the lowest in fruits that turn to sugar the slowest. Now, the best thing I recommend to do is always use the full fruit. Like, if I were to eat those, I would eat them straight. And if you're really looking to maximize eating the raspberries, use a 3-horsepower blender, because each one of those berries has thousands of seeds in it that has a lot of ellagic acid in there, and if you break it down into fairy dust, your body can assimilate it on a much higher level. So if you're truly looking to maximize your experience, that's one of the best ways to do it. All right. Now, you've heard me talk a lot about kiwis. I've seen these reverse asthma like on a consistent basis. So if you have breathing issues, or you're looking to up your ability to perform, if you're lifting weights, working out, if you're in sports, if your kids have allergy issues, if you're low on vitamin C, kiwis is the way to go. And Chris, my business partner and good friend, actually had me eat one of these with the skin and everything on it, and it tastes about the same. So whatever you choose to do on that, it's totally up to you. So is anyone having some questions so far while I'm going through these still? Limes. Limes are very antibiotic. These are also saviors for your smoothies. Like, if you're doing green smoothies, limes will save your life, keep you from taking, like, you just went and mowed your yard and drank it and put it into a smoothie, because that's what it tastes like. And that's just me being honest with you, or being Brian with you. When you do this, though, and you use these, you want to make sure you use like a potato peeler or a sharp knife and shave these down to where they still have the white part on them. What's up, Travis Dillard? The white part has high amounts of glycosides and D-glucarate. So when you're talking about citrus fruits in general, D-glucarate and limonene are extremely, extremely potent. D-limonene is one of the most potent substances that comes from citrus fruits that helps with prostate cancers, and it helps with breast cancers. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's really potent in essential orange, like essential oils orange. D-limonene is the active phytochemical that's in there that makes that difference. So you got, how are you? So you have, I eat a lot of these right here. I'm going to show you these. So you have purple sweet potatoes. Pretty crazy, huh? Very high in anthocyanins. Anthocyanins is the same stuff that's in acai berry. It's known to cause apoptosis, which is actually what causes cancer cells to create or cause suicide to themselves, which is very important. So apoptosis means that a cancer cell will kill itself. This purple phytochemical in there is exactly what does that. Same stuff that's in blueberries, same stuff that's in blackberries, and the same stuff that's in acai. Now, here's the deal. Potatoes, specifically like these, you need to be in really good shape to be eating these, because these turn into sugar immediately, or take them post-workout. Some people are in better shape and can afford certain things like that. The key is understanding what your body requires and understanding what your body needs to produce the effects that you want. Everybody's different. So for me to tell you not to eat those, that's not my place. It's for you to figure out what works for you, and understand that those white potatoes will turn to sugar about as fast as anything on the planet. Very fast, okay? And then you also have yams, you have sweet potatoes, you got purple onion down there, which I think is really important. Purple onion has some amazing stuff. Wish I could pause this. You can go back and check the replay, Ramon. So, purple onion is very high in saponines and flavonoids. It's very good at thinning out blood and stopping angina, chest pains. It's also good for ushering insulin into the cells to help process sugar. So diabetics should be eating raw purple onions on a daily basis with their food. Extremely potent. My wife is going to kill me for saying this, but F it. What food helps eliminate face acne? Dealing with anger about your feelings. That's what helps with acne. And clearing your acidity, meaning eating more alkaline foods like cucumber, alkaline water, vegetables, and things like that. Always understand that emotional catalyst is what happens first. So these right here are really amazing too. So check these out. These two squashes are awesome. I love these things right here, cutting them in half and cooking them on 350 in the oven for an hour and putting coconut oil on them, and literally like 2 cups of that's only like 14 grams of carbs, so it's not a lot at all. All right, so let's cruise over here. So let's discuss waters for a second. All right, there are a few down here that I would kind of recommend if you're out and about. Now, you have real water. That's an 8.0 pH. This is a 9.5. They advertise that. I have seen personal studies that friends of mine have done where they're not 9.5, and it's advertised that because it's probably a 9.5 when they pour it, and it's not that when you drink it. And I venture to say that it's probably best than most waters that are actually out. And I do drink an alkaline water on a daily, consistent basis. I like it. You need to find out what works for you. Okay? Let's cruise right here. I think you'll like this. You heard me talk a lot about sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is probably one of the things you could add to your normal nutrition program and add about 80% of a boost to your immunity. Okay, there's different ones like kimchi. Like kimchi, the Korean government actually gives it to their workers, and they've actually found that it actually kills bird flu. Now, kimchi is amazing. It's got ginger, it's got garlic, it's got chopped up cabbage and carrots and all kinds of stuff, and it's fermented, so it's extremely potent from a probiotic level. Having a couple of bites of this a day will definitely help your immune system and your bowel movements. And if you're not, that's an easy $6 investment that you can do and use. I have smoked jalapeno and I have garlic dill. I love them. I also have been eating more vegan and vegetarian proteins, which they don't have any of the stuff that I eat here. I'll show you this though too. I think you'll like it. So this right here, it's almond cheese. Now, the beauty of this is that on the back of it, hey man, they changed this up. It didn't used to be like this. It's got 4 grams of fat in it. It used to have none. Now it's got 4 grams of carbs and it's got 6 grams of protein. This used to have 7 grams of protein and no fat. That kind of sucks. I like that stuff. It's still a much better alternative than doing dairy for sure. I had some ice cream last night for my reward meal and I'm kind of stopped up. Side under eye blinking. Can you assist me? Yeah, which eye? What's up, Aaron Block? It's resentment. Left side's female, right side's male. I give myself permission to forgive whoever. So let me show you some other things over here. I love these kombucha drinks. And I specifically like these right here. It has chia seed. Resentment with a male figure. Does that resonate with you? And this is kombucha. This is also a fermented product that helps with probiotics, and it's got chia seeds in it. And the cool thing about chia seeds is that they soak up 5 times their weight in water and can make a massive difference on slowing down blood sugar. And it's a great, a lot of professional athletes, especially endurance athletes, will make something called chia gel, because chia has an amazing nutrient profile. If you are on blood thinners, do not have chia seeds. They will thin your blood even more. They will also help with your pain, and the Aztecs used to eat them a ton. Right foot, pinky toe. Could tell me about that, bro. Kind of numbness and tingling. Not understanding how to move forward with your sex and desires. If the top of it's others, if it's underneath, it's about you personally, or not understanding how to move forward. Let me know if that makes sense. And Melinda, yours is a yes. So right eye twitch right here. Bam, bam, bam. That's resentment with a male figure. There's some body language for you. Let's go over here. I'm going to show you this. I stopped buying these because I am crazy about eating them all. Alright, so this is basically some stuff called Nutso. It's about a $12, used to be about 16 bucks a jar. It is amazing. It's got 7 different kind of nuts and seeds in it. I prefer this one. They have another one that doesn't have peanut butter in it. But they have some amazing ones. Like this stuff right here it's crazy. It's off the charts. Dark chocolate dreams. 7 grams of sugar, cinnamon swirl. If you can manage this, and which didn't you catch, Babs? If you can manage your nighttime eating habit, then you can do stuff like this. Oh, here's the one I get. Oh my God, this stuff's amazing. 13 bucks for a jar of it. Vanilla espresso, almond butter. I think I'm in heaven. 2 grams of sugar, that's not that bad. I will not buy this because I already know what happens. Like, I have a heavy hand. So that's about you personally, Mike. I have a heavy hand with almond butter, so I already know better than that. 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Any questions before we drop off? Hey, I'm going to hop over here and show you something real fast that I think you'll find very helpful. I'm going to show you these 2 things. We got 3 minutes. Did you go? Yes, I did. The first thing is dealing with anger about yourself personally, expression, and then also adding cucumbers, adding wheatgrass, adding high alkaline foods to oxygenate your body, to change your pH. So making sure you're drinking alkaline water and things like that. The main thing is going to be the emotions, her emotions specifically, because it's on her face what's about her. If it's right side, that's anger with male, left side's anger with herself. Alright. These are the best goji berries that you can get. These are Ron Tea Gardens. Like, these are stacked. Like, one of these bags of gojis has more beta carotene than like 25 pounds of carrots. Like, these are the best ones because these are still moist. Like, these are amazing because they're a superfood. Like, these have glyconutrients in them, which means that they help your cells to communicate. It actually releases growth hormone. They're very high in arginine, so men with ED issues, this will help immensely. It's also, I would call it an aphrodisiac because of the type of nutrients and phytochemicals and phytonutrients that are in here. Goji berries are stacked and they're amazing. And this is also a complete protein source, which is great. If you are diabetic, you want to stay away from these because they do have some sugars in them. Sugars is about 14 grams. Now I'm going to show you a couple more things that I think you'll like real quick, and then we'll be done. We are right here. These are amazing for your brain. You've heard me talk about this individually. Since I'm at the store, I'd show you. Acetyl-L-carnitine, 1,500 milligrams. Start off with that and see how you feel with it. Appreciate it. I'll try bringing it up, not get mad. Yeah, just blame it on me. Hey, you're doing it in love. That's the important thing, not by judgment. You're doing it to provide a better life and a better value for your wife, which if you present it in that information and in that position and that frame, then you may be okay. If not, I love you anyway. So acetyl-L-carnitine, like, I've seen people's lives change just from this nutrient alone. It's basically an amino acid. It comes from food. Just a lot of times we're deficient. So if you have ADD or something of that nature, this stuff is amazing. I had some of this before I came in here, and it makes an amazing difference on how fast my brain is functioning and my brain is firing. You shouldn't pay more than 11 or 12 bucks for that stuff. And then I'm going to show you one more, and then we'll be done. We're going down here to the fish aisle. Fish pills. So here's the thing. You want to try to get fish pills like krill or something very small in the ocean, has a lot less of a tendency of getting contaminated. Now, they have some stuff that tastes like dookie. Like this stuff right here. It's packed though. So EPA is for pain. On the back of there, you probably can't see that, but it's for pain. That's for inflammation. DHA is for brain function, for short-term, long-term memory, for hormone function, all of that. This stuff right here is stacked. There's over 1,400 milligrams of EPA in 1 teaspoon and 1,000 milligrams of DHA in 1 teaspoon, and it tastes like fish. The ones I prefer, especially if you're going to use them for your kids, are these. I use these. DHA extra strawberry flavor. You can chew them up and it still smells and tastes like strawberry, so it's not a big deal. So hey, that's all I got. This will be going live. It's actually live right now, and it's going to be on my Facebook wall for a little while. So if you don't mind, please share it. I would love to be able to get this out. My mission is to serve 200 million people, and it's going to start by each one of you and me being able to support you at my best. So have an amazing day. That's all I got. Message me if you have any questions. If you're looking to take your life to the next level, message me and let's set up a phone call. And remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness. Bye-bye. Message me.